The global automotive industry was rocked by a bold declaration from BYD's CEO, signaling the end of comfortable profits and predictable competition. This announcement sent ripples through boardrooms and manufacturing plants worldwide, as industry leaders scrambled to understand the implications. BYD, China's electric vehicle giant, announced an all-out push to reshape the global market, leveraging its unmatched scale and vertical integration. The company's strategy was clear: dominate the EV market by offering high-quality vehicles at prices that competitors could not match. The company's ability to produce EVs at bewilderingly low costs sent a clear message: a brutal price war was coming, threatening to starve out weaker players. This aggressive pricing strategy was designed to capture market share quickly and decisively. For Chinese rivals like Geely and NIO, already struggling for profitability, BYD's move was existential. These companies now faced the daunting task of either matching BYD's prices or finding new ways to differentiate themselves in an increasingly crowded market. International giants, Volkswagen, Ford, Toyota, suddenly faced a competitor playing by new rules, offering feature-rich EVs at prices below their cheapest petrol models. This forced them to rethink their strategies and accelerate their own electric vehicle programs. The industry was no longer just competing, it was fighting for survival. The stakes had never been higher, and the pressure was mounting on all fronts. The shock was not admiration, but deep anxiety about a future for which few were prepared. The rapid pace of change left many industry veterans questioning their long-held assumptions. The game had changed, and the world's automakers knew it. The future of the automotive industry was now more uncertain than ever, and everyone was bracing for what was to come. BYD's words quickly became action, as the company set out to reshape the entire landscape of China's auto industry. In a bold move, BYD unleashed a fierce price war across China's auto market, sending shockwaves through the industry and catching competitors off guard. In May 2025, BYD slashed prices on over 20 models, making headlines and forcing rivals to scramble for a response. The company's Seagull hatchback became so affordable, it was suddenly cheaper than many smartphones, a move that stunned both consumers and industry insiders. The move triggered panic. Automaker stocks plummeted, including BYD's own, as investors braced for profit destruction and uncertainty swept through the market. BYD's strategy was clear: sacrifice short-term profit to force rivals out of business, betting that only the strongest would survive the turmoil. News outlets buzzed with stories of the price war, while social media exploded with reactions from excited buyers and worried industry veterans. Showrooms filled with eager buyers, but dealerships struggled, some forced to close as margins vanished and profits evaporated almost overnight. The price war exposed China's overcapacity, with factories running far below potential, highlighting a deeper problem in the industry. Analysts saw BYD's campaign as a calculated effort to trigger industry consolidation, driving weaker brands to merge or disappear, and reshaping the competitive landscape. For consumers, the price cuts were a windfall. Cars became more accessible than ever, but the deals were built on corporate pain and uncertainty for thousands of workers. The battlefield was set for a new era, with BYD aiming to rule a leaner, more profitable kingdom, even if it meant leaving chaos in its wake. The stakes had never been higher, and the outcome would shape the future of China's auto industry for years to come. The escalating price war soon drew Beijing's attention. In June 2025, government officials summoned auto executives, demanding an end to destructive price cutting and warning against selling below cost. The state, once the EV industry's biggest supporter, now feared it had unleashed chaos it couldn't control. Previous attempts at self-regulation had failed, highlighting the intensity of competition. Beijing's main concern, a race to the bottom, could damage the Made in China brand, undoing years of progress in quality and reputation. Officials worried that desperate cost-cutting would compromise safety and reliability. The government's intervention was a plea to protect the industry's long-term health over short-term market share. The message was clear: survival must not come at the cost of China's global ambitions. The industry's future now hung in the balance. As EV prices plunged, industry insiders raised alarms. What corners were being cut to make cars so cheap? Safety and reliability became central concerns, with fears that cost-cutting could mean substandard materials or missing safety features. Great Wall Motors chairman warned that the price war risked tragic consequences on the road. Consumers faced a dilemma: tempting prices, but uncertainty about hidden risks. The market's brutal consolidation accelerated, with dozens of brands expected to vanish or merge. In 2024 alone, 16 EV brands exited the market. Many more are likely to follow. The true cost of cheap cars may not be measured in yuan, but in safety and trust. The industry's shakeout was just beginning. BYD's aggressive expansion masks a precarious financial reality. The price war is expensive, and questions swirl about BYD's true debt. Some analysts estimate it could be over 300 billion yuan. This means BYD is racing to dominate before debt overwhelms it. Investor nerves are frayed. BYD's stock has lost billions in value since the latest price cuts. The company must balance spending to crush rivals with keeping investors on side. To offset losses at home, BYD is pushing hard into overseas markets, especially Europe, where margins are higher. Success abroad is crucial to subsidize the costly war at home and manage its debt. But global expansion requires massive investment, adding to financial strain. BYD is betting everything on global dominance, a high-stakes gamble with little room for error. The outcome will shape the future of the industry. With China's market in turmoil, BYD set its sights on Europe. Europe offers high prices and eco-conscious consumers, an ideal target for BYD's efficient, affordable EVs. At the 2025 Munich Auto Show, BYD announced plans to build cars in Hungary, sidestepping EU tariffs and appealing to local buyers. The first model, the Dolphin Surf, will launch at around €20,000, undercutting European rivals. BYD's cost structure, built on vertical integration, gives it a decisive edge over legacy automakers. The company is rapidly building sales and service networks, aiming for a full-scale market invasion. BYD's European push is not a test, it's a campaign for dominance. The battle for Europe is underway, and BYD is determined to win. The continent's auto industry faces its greatest challenge yet. BYD's arrival jolted Volkswagen and Europe's auto giants into action. VW, long the region's leader, now faces a direct challenge to its dominance. At Munich, VW unveiled new EV concepts priced to compete with BYD, but they won't arrive until 2026, giving BYD a crucial head start. VW is racing to cut costs and streamline production, trying to match BYD's efficiency without losing its brand identity. The pressure is immense, forcing painful internal changes and tough negotiations with suppliers. Meanwhile, Europe's ambitious EV transition faces regulatory uncertainty, with industry leaders questioning the feasibility of a 2035 petrol ban. Carmakers must invest billions to compete, even as the rules of the game may shift. The fight for Europe's auto market is a battle for its very soul, and the outcome is far from certain. The stakes are existential for both old and new players. BYD's aggressive strategy is reshaping the global auto industry, ushering in an era of radical disruption. The company's rapid innovation and relentless expansion are forcing competitors to rethink their approach, accelerating the shift toward electric vehicles on a global scale. The price war in China previews a global consolidation. Only the largest, most efficient companies will survive. Smaller automakers may struggle to keep up, as the industry becomes more competitive and cost-driven than ever before. For consumers, cheaper EVs are coming, but concerns about quality and safety remain. Buyers are excited by lower prices, yet many still question whether these new models can match the reliability and standards of established brands. The flood of low-cost Chinese cars is triggering protectionist responses worldwide, fragmenting the market along geopolitical lines. Governments are imposing new tariffs and regulations, hoping to shield domestic industries from the onslaught of affordable imports. Chinese automakers are seeking new markets, but face growing barriers. From Europe to South America, they must navigate complex regulations, shifting consumer preferences, and rising political tensions. The industry stands at a historic turning point: adapt or risk extinction. Automakers must choose their path carefully, investing in new technologies and business models to survive. The future will be dominated by a handful of global titans who master scale, technology, and geopolitics. Only those who can innovate quickly and operate efficiently will shape the next era of mobility. For buyers, the next car may be electric, affordable, and from a brand few knew a decade ago. The The choices are expanding, and the landscape is changing faster than ever before. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the drive will never be the same. Every journey will reflect the new realities of a transformed industry. The new world order of driving has arrived, and it's redefining how we move, connect, and experience the road.